This week on Americana Outdoors, we're bringing you coverage of the 4th annual Yamaha Turkey Bass Smash. This high-stakes winner-takes-all competition is one of our favorite events that we look forward to all year long for the amazing hunting, fierce fishing, great food, camaraderie, and good old-fashioned bragging rights earned by one team at the end of the 2-day event.
For a fun competition, it is super competitive. I mean, because you're talking a full year of bragging rights, you got a pretty sweet blue trophy. Having your name on that trophy, that lasts a lifetime.
I've just rolled up just a little bit ago. Clark Wendlandt is already talking about, I'm gonna kill the biggest turkey and I'm gonna catch the most fish. I'm like, dude, I thought I was coming down here for vacation. And he's after this trophy.
I mean, that's why we're here. We're here to win. And here's the thing, everybody in this is extremely competitive, like more competitive than they really should be, but it serves them well.
You know, when you analyze the teams this year, let's talk about the Zaldaingerous, a great husband and wife team. They both fish competitively. They both obviously are driven to compete and driven to win. And then you go to the next team of Wendlandt and Paul and Nick. I mean, if you know anything about bass fishing, we should just give them the fishing win right now.
Who paired those guys together? Like, I've got, a couple words for that guy. You're supposed to like stagger the competition. Those guys are stacked.
On the hunting side, Scott and I have a little advantage because I know the property that we're hunting. And I really want Brandon to get his first Rio Grande Tom and Trait and Chris to get their first Toms, but as long as ours is just a little bit bigger.
Here's the rules layout for day 1 of the competition. The total combined measurements of each bird's weight, beard length, and length of both spurs will earn that many points for a team. 5 points will be awarded for the heaviest turkey and the longest beard each, and 10 points will be awarded to the overall highest scoring turkey. As for the penalties, well, if a team shoots but misses a bird, they'll receive a 10-point penalty. Any bird hit but not recovered will result in a 15-point penalty, and shooting a bird past legal end time will result in a 20-point penalty. A 25-point penalty and bird disqualification will be applied to the following scenarios: shooting 2 birds with 1 shot, shooting more than 2 birds after 1 bird has already been harvested, and not waiting 15 minutes between shooting the first and second bird.
So with Yamaha, the great thing about something like this is that we have a product pretty much for any need that you can use. The fact that we can have a turkey hunt, utilize our side-by-sides, our ATVs, and then switch to going on the water and utilizing those outboards and the rigs that they have too is just very cool to show how diverse Yamaha really is.
For those of you who are being treated to your very first Yamaha Turkey Bass Smash, here's a look back on the history of this famous competition. It all started in 2018 when Yamaha brought together a group of industry professionals from the hunting, fishing, and media worlds to compete in a turkey hunting and bass fishing competition. On the very first day of the inaugural tournament, Team Middleton set the stage with the largest overall turkey. But from that point on, we learned anything can happen in the Turkey Bass Smash when Team Creek caught a 7.12-pounder right off the bat on day 2 and sealed the deal for taking home that big blue trophy.
Woo! This is the biggest trophy I've ever won! Woo!
The following year at the second Turkey Bass Smash, we had industry pros from Yamaha and Garmin and pro anglers Ray Hanselman, Keith Combs, and Jeff Reynolds joining in on the action. On day 1, Team Hanselman brought in a massive 18-pound contender, but it was no match for Team Middleton's 21-pounder. On day 2, Team Middleton held on to their lead and finished strong with a whopping 125 points to forever etch their names on the Turkey Bass Trophy. When we reassembled for the 3rd annual Yamaha Turkey Bass Smash in 2021, everyone was pumped up and ready to hit the ground running to take the trophy from the reigning champs.
I am going to beat him and beat him bad.
That year treated us to some of the wildest twists and turns we've seen, with disqualifications, rule objections, and last-minute lead changes.
Never give up, fish to the end, all those acronyms, and we got 5. We're going to weigh them, and let scales tell the story.
At the end of it all, Team Middleton won by a literal turkey beard hair to hold on to that sweet, sweet, glorious trophy. So what do we have in store for you this year? Will Team Middleton clinch a three-peat? Has Clark thoroughly read through the rules to claim the victory this time? Or will Chris and Trait, the Zaldaingerous Duo, charge into camp and steal the win from everyone? Find out here as the 4th annual Yamaha Turkey Bass Smash starts now.
We're going turkey hunting. Brandon and I are together, and Brandon hadn't turkey hunted a whole lot, so I just think it's going to be fun. I love when somebody kind of learns about turkey hunting and sees how it goes, and you know, we're working together to try to kill 2 turkeys. That's the goal.
You excited?
I'm excited. It's gonna be a good time. I don't know much about turkey hunting, but I've always heard the guys that I know that I elk hunt with that have done turkey hunting, they say it's very similar to elk hunting. They're just a little smaller, got a few more feathers on them. But anytime you can interact with an animal like that, it's awesome to me, and that's what it's all about. And then throw a little competition on top of it, it just makes things that much more exciting.
I tell you what, when you go turkey hunting and you can't even hear a turkey, that's pretty bad.
That's most of my turkey hunting experiences.
Well, it's hopefully gonna get better.
Leading into the turkey hunting portion of this event, I really felt like this is where me and Clark could make or break our entire event. And we really started out struggling. I could tell Clark was not happy about our morning. He's talking about how turkey hunting should not be this difficult. And so we're a little bit worried. And Clark decides to make a executive decision for the team that we're just gonna start walking.
For Clark and Brandon, this executive decision is merely the beginning of their hiking journey today. Now, let's check in with the Zaldaingerous Duo. Chris and Trait have been out in the field for only a couple of hours, and just like we saw with Team Wendlandt, the woods have been quiet. They called, and they called, and they called again. And at one point even belly crawled, but still never got close enough to the turkeys to take a shot or even hear a gobble. After yet another move, they settled into a densely brushy area where they could see a large flock of birds just ahead of them.
Bird down, baby. Bird down. Woo! Yes, that was awesome. That was awesome. Wow. Oh, we might incur a penalty here. We'll take it. Trait's making sure they got a peaceful little send off there. That was amazing. Jeff, guy holding the camera, knows his way around these woods. We were just to the north about 100 yards. He was calling, nothing, maybe a gobble way back in the distance. So Jeff set us up in this trio of oak trees right here, but we thought they were gonna come from this way. So we were set up looking this way, no decoys. Jeff called them in a little bit. We heard a gobble. It was right here. And just as soon as I repositioned, turning back this way, I repositioned, and I look up and there's those hens right there, and I couldn't even move. I take the shotgun off safety. These 3 big giant toms come in, and I aim for the second one. I put the red dot right on the second one's head right there, and had a little bit of overspray. You know, got this other one here. Hey, that's okay. It's legal, but in our little turkey bass smash here, we will incur a penalty. That's totally fine. That's 2 big toms down, man. That is awesome.
The adrenaline is pumping, and Team Zaldaingerous Duo may be excited now, but we all know the penalty for taking 2 birds with 1 shot isn't just a point deduction, but an all-out DQ of both birds. Still, those are some beautiful Texas Rios. When we parted ways with Clark and Brandon, they had just set off on a run-and-gun style of turkey hunting, a method not unusual for Clark. Since then, they've hiked and covered lots of ground with the Wolverine RMAX 2 1000 XTR, and now we're catching back up with them just in time for their first encounter with some strutting turkeys.
Get out, get out. No, too far, too far. I think the only way we're going to kill these turkeys is if we go right there. You see where the kind of bare spot is just on the other side? Yeah. What you're going to have to do is shoot it through the brush, which is no problem. Those pellets will go through there easy. I'm not sure they're right here anymore. What do you think? We had a chance right there. What we did was, we were kind of working down this road, and we called one time and I heard them yelping. Brandon probably heard them first. And when they did, it was a hen or 2 hens, a jake, and a big strutter. And the strutter, we had a shot at him, but it was like 65, 70 yards, I think. I mean, it was a long way. I mean, it was exciting, but we just didn't get it done there. God.
It's a tough break for Clark and Brandon, but with plenty of light left in the day, they're not out of the race just yet. Over on another area of the property, Team Middleton has been making moves to a few different locations to get on these birds.
I mean, you see it like this, where they gobble a little bit on the roost and gobble a little bit when they get on the ground, and then they stay with those hens, but we got to find one that wants to respond.
After a few more changes of scenery, they finally settled in the brush yet again, with Scott on the gun and Wade nestled discreetly in a pop-up blind.
Oh, he smoked him. He smoked him. He smoked him.
Man, so moved to a new spot, got nice and brushed in, and we really weren't sitting down for all that long, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I hear behind me some little bit of clucking, and it's like, man, Wade's doing a good job at calling. It's like, oh no, that's an actual hen. And it's like, okay, there's a real hen, she's making noise, something's gotta come in, something's gotta happen. And then sure enough, this guy just comes in off the back side of the woods here, and he was just calm and settled the entire time. So I was already, I was just ready to go. And then sure enough, he started walking out, pulled the hammer back and squeezed off the round, and man, just dropped him.
Congrats, Team Middleton. With your bird's weight and measurements totaling 30.7 points, you're sitting in familiar territory on the leaderboard. Clark and Brandon have covered hundreds of miles with ease today, thanks to the Yamaha Wolverine RMAX 2 1000 XTR and a whole lot of determination. There's no telling how many hunting spots they've been to at this point in the day, but it sounds like they've found a promising area.
Clark lets out a little yelp and he hears one gobble. And so we run straight toward the gobble, probably 50 yards, and close that distance. I got this kind of big oak tree, dead oak tree in front of me, and I don't know if I need to be on the right side or the left side. And we hear the hens coming, and they're coming, and they're coming, they're coming quick. And he's like, I think it's gonna come out on this left side. And so I swing my gun around and get ready, and sure enough, here those hens come, and there's one little opening, and they're coming out, and they're coming out, and here come 2 toms strutting behind them. So I'm like, Brandon, don't screw this up. This may be the only opportunity that we have.
I can see them coming. I can see them strutting. They're gonna come right where they are. Yep, I see 2 of them. You get one of them when you can. Oh, there's a hen. Right there. What happened to him? Oh, he got him. Got him.
No, there's one.
Oh, you got him. Okay.
Right there. He's right there.
I didn't know because they were going in every direction.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I guess we got to make sure not to break any of them off.
No, we don't want to break them off.
Those are points right there.
That's exactly right. Man, what a great hunt. We had kind of worked through this flat. We had worked a long time actually down a creek, and nothing. And all of a sudden, I called and I heard one gobble. So we moved a little closer.
Yep, close the gap.
Man, we really got in a perfect spot. And you were on them the whole time.
Yeah, I just followed them out. Had those hens, they were right in the way. And then the 2 toms were right next to each other. And after Chris's debacle this morning, I didn't want to get, I didn't want to be 25 points back with them.
That's exactly right.
I let them separate, and he started following those hens, and he was right behind one hen, and she turned and went left, and he had just turned and he took 2 steps right, and I was like, that's my
your
shot.
window,
Yeah,
right there.
That other tom was right to the left of him, and he stepped and separated from the rest of the group. I was like, we've been working way too hard all morning not to take that opportunity.
Heck yeah, that is awesome. It doesn't get any better than that. That's great. Man, that worked well.
Congratulations, Clark and Brandon. Y'all might just be giving Team Middleton a run for their money with this Rio. When we returned to camp, Team Wendlandt measured out their bird, and with just a little more weight and a slightly longer beard, Clark and Brandon won all 20 of the possible bonus points at play and edged out Team Middleton for the lead heading into day 2. Before we close out this show, let's hear how Chris really feels about his hunt today after learning the extent of their penalty.
Trey and I are the only team who bagged 2 turkeys. Unfortunately, the 2 turkeys I harvested were both on 1 trigger pull. Long story short, both birds don't count, and we incurred a negative 25-point penalty. But with that being said, those are my first 2 turkey kills. It's like plus 500 points in my head because that experience was so awesome. I had an absolute blast, and I know Trey did too.
Well, there you have it. Even with a penalty, nothing beats the excitement of a first turkey hunt. Be sure to tune in next week for the conclusion of the 4th annual Yamaha Turkey Bass Smash.